Aaron, what can you tell us about what you're seeing so far?
Yeah, guys, right now I am standing in the middle of the Randall's parking lot. You can see the crime tape behind me, so how far back they are keeping us from the Goodwill store right now. And just a few minutes ago, I was actually on the north side of this crime scene where they are rerouting traffic on Brodie and Silk Oak. But let me describe, I just now stepped out of the car and took a survey of the scene here. You can see lots of DPS troopers, tons of patrol cars right now all over this parking lot. Of course, all of the businesses to the left of Randall's are closed right now. You've got Tino's Greek Cafe is the one sign I can see, but everything from where I'm standing all the way over to the Goodwill is completely shut down and cleared of any people. And so the crime tape stretches, across to Brodie, and then they've got traffic shut down at Brodie and Slaughter right now, and they're rerouting traffic around that as well on this side of the crime scene. Like I mentioned, on the other side of the crime scene, the north side where they're rerouting traffic, that's at Brodie and Silk Oak, and that's where myself and a different photographer were parked in our live truck and couldn't get any further into the scene. What's crazy about this is we were over at the FedEx store on Brodie working on a story for our 9 and 10 o'clock newscast tonight, and then clearly got a call from our newsroom that said we think there's been another explosion. And at this point, it's just getting pretty insane, as I know everyone at home is feeling that as well. We are literally going from one scene to the next. You just never know at this point. So we jumped in our live truck, and everyone, all the media that were there at that scene were now coming to this one, plus you had regular traffic, and so we were all getting backed up on Brodie, and we were there before, emergency crews could kind of get that road blocked off, and then they started rerouting traffic, so traffic was no longer backed up on the road. We went back to Davis. You can get over to Mopac at that point, or heading the other direction to get around this very large crime scene right now. Of course, like I said, there's media everywhere on the outskirt of this crime tape, and then on the inside, just lots and lots of law enforcement. Also, just a sea of sirens. When we were sitting at that FedEx store, you could just hear siren after siren, ambulance going by, fire truck, and then I was getting calls from our own newsroom saying we think there's been another explosion. And so really, can't get too close to see exactly what's going on at this point. But in addition to media standing here on the outside, there's a lot of, just regular people parked saying, what's going on, clearly thinking, oh my goodness, not again. So again, everything here on the south side of Randall's is open, and you can get through this area. But again, police, of course, asking people to simply avoid this spot right now because they are rerouting traffic. The perimeter is very, very large. They want to keep all of us safe. There's a media staging area over near Bowie High School, just because they want people to be as safe as possible right now. Robert, Sydney.
Well, as you say, Aaron, not again. You get set up there, and then we get this very baffling tweet from the Austin Police Department saying that there was no package explosion there at the Goodwill. The items inside the package was not a bomb. They're calling it an incendiary device. And this time they have no reason to believe this incident is related to previous package bombs. So is just perhaps a terrible coincidence that this happened?
Yeah, I don't know. I think a lot of people, obviously the details still coming in, and we've got the bombings on our mind, and so we automatically think that's got to be what this is. Now when we hear incendiary device and we all say, what is that? I know you just got online and literally read the definition. But I think that doesn't change the fact that we're all on edge and we're thinking, oh no, not again. Even though we're being told it's not connected, I think we still want to wait for more information, because now we want to know what is this number, potentially number 6, maybe not, but coincidence or not, this is crazy, as so many people have been describing it to me, even friends from out of town, family who don't even live here, across the country, who are hearing these breaking news updates just as fast as we're getting them here in Austin. The entire country is watching this right now.
And Aaron, I know yesterday you asked Chief Manley about his staff and his officers and all of the officers who are responding to this. It has been constant. They have not gotten much rest. Are you seeing familiar faces at this point? You've been covering so many of these, and I don't know who is out there tonight. Can you tell us a few of the different agencies who are out in the scene?
Well, yeah, like Chief Manley has told us, there are hundreds and hundreds of officers, agents from multiple agencies. So I don't think that I'm seeing too many familiar faces yet. There's a lot of reporters just here at KXAN who are covering this. But yeah, Chief Manley told me, you know, when we talked to him yesterday, over the last 24 hours, he had had 1 hour of sleep, and that was him sleeping on the floor at APD headquarters. I am sure he is not the only one who cannot sleep right now, working around the clock. And even if you tried to sleep, you could think about, you know, we're all anxious and concerned. Well, his entire department is heading up these investigations, trying to find the person or persons who are behind this. So I think they've even said we're not going to sleep, we're not going to rest until these mysteries are solved. But, you know, we have got troopers, you know, ATF agents, FBI, local police departments, and then we had the Sunset Valley Police Department today, a new agency brought into this because of a situation in their own community. So we've got, you know, new agencies being pulled in who we haven't had to call yet before about these cases. So, you know, not seeing a lot of familiar faces over and over again because we're all on different shifts and they're probably rotating out as well. But we certainly do hope that they are getting enough rest to come out here with a fresh set of eyes and fresh energy to start, you know, working yet another crime scene. I mean, and there's still probably a ton of loose ends at each of the other crime scenes before this, but literally just like us in the media, we drop what we're doing at that second and we get to the next spot to literally start over and start from scratch, all while trying to connect the dots from square one that go all the way back to March 2nd. It's mind-blowing to even think about at this point.
The Interim Chief Brian Manley insisting that he does have enough personnel on the ground, and at a time when the Austin Police Department is several dozen officers short, and several people have been disciplined and taken off the force, but they insist that there are enough officers on the ground to cover the other incidents that happen in Austin every day. The governor has sent 50 DPS troopers into Austin to help the APD and keeping our community safe, and of course we're very grateful for their support.
And Aaron, do we still have you?
Yes, yes.
Aaron, I'm wondering how close is this? We heard from Jacqueline Powell, who was talking to a woman who was nearby. She lives nearby. This is close to her home. How close are you to neighborhoods where people are going to feel like this is hitting very close to home?
Yeah, there are homes all around this shopping center here. So again, we're at Slaughter and Brodie. So just on the other side of Slaughter, you've got Shady Hollow. You head, I believe, east on Slaughter Lane, and it's just packed with neighborhoods on that side. And so again, I'm in the Randall's parking lot, and I think just on the other side of this, there are homes over there. I believe that's where Jackie is right now. So it wouldn't be odd for people to be in their homes around this shopping center and have heard some type of loud noise or boom or explosion. And also think about the timing, guys. People are just getting off work. They're coming here to the grocery store. They're running a lot of the errands that they haven't been able to do during the day. There's a lot of restaurants around here, fast food. You got a Sonic across the street, a CVS on the other side. So this place is booming, probably one of the busiest times getting into the evening hours as people get off work.
I'm seeing reports, Aaron, that authorities are holding several people in a blocked-off area, and they're being interviewed by the police department or perhaps federal agents. Do you see any kind of activity like that?
I haven't seen that yet. I will certainly keep my eye out for that and kind of walk around where we're able to on the safe side of the crime tape. But I certainly will let you know if I see or hear about anything like that.
We're told now that Bowie High School, about a mile away from where this happened tonight, has been cleared of by police. Everything is okay at Bowie, and they're going about their normal activities here at 8:29 at night. So that's a good thing.